Welcome back. Let's also now put the spotlight on the political war of words that has erupted over the alleged toolkit by the Congress party. And now the Congress party has come out and alleged that the Delhi police is carrying out a probe forcefully despite the Congress party having withdrawn its complaint on 22nd of May itself. In fact, the Congress has reiterated that we've already filed a complaint basis where a FIR has been registered in Raipur and Chhattisgarh, and they are the ones who are looking at it, so the Delhi police doesn't have to. Congress party says the probe is being carried out forcefully. It's a malicious witch hunt to shield the BJP leaders as well as ministers. The police in Delhi is acting under the pressure from the centre. Of course, the BJP hit back very strongly today. Even mentions of the Union Minister Prakash Javadekar said how it just gets proven further and further after Rahul Gandhi's briefing that the toolkit did belong to the Congress party. So tonight I want to ask that what is the purpose of this probe and why exactly is it really being done? Let's say good evening to the panelists. It's a straight R&R Congress versus BJP conversation tonight. Sudesh Verma of the BJP and Dr. Ajay Kumar of the Congress party joining me right now. And Dr. Ajay Kumar, let me start off with you. When the Congress party had filed a complaint, why do you want to now withdraw it and say that the Delhi police should not probe? How does it matter if the Delhi police and the Chhattisgarh police probes, unless we are saying that all investigations are now political investigations?
No, the first thing is from a law perspective, that since there's been a FIR already been registered, so the law is very clear that if there's a crime registered, you can't have two FIRs for the same offense. So there's no debate on that. But more important is this is actually this is the BJP toolkit. The BJP toolkit is to use the Delhi police. The Delhi police has lost all credibility. They are the people who arrest children who put posters. They are the people who arrest rickshaw pullers who are putting posters. So even if you look at it, Tanvi, for a minute, okay, first of all, the FIR should not, now that the FIR is there, the investigation should happen and there's no need of a second investigation. But more important is, the people who created there was a complaint which said that these papers are fraudulent. And the BJP is responsible for it. The Delhi police doesn't ask the BJP. You see, it's incredible. You go and complain that somebody's done a wrong act. The guy who's accused is not asked. Then they go and raid Twitter or whatever, give notice to Twitter or whatever they want to call it now, they're trying to call it. But the important part is this is the national party, this is the Prime Minister's party, this is the ministers tweeting false document. And they're not ready to prove it. None of them have given the original document because it's so shameful. It is their toolkit. Continuously spread false videos, doctored videos. We've seen it on WhatsApp. We've seen it, umpteen number of times. They masked across the world. The right wingers are famous for it. Whether it's the American fringe right wingers or whether it's the Indian guys, there's not much of difference. The pity of Delhi police is that Delhi police doesn't investigate the document. Now they go after the other people. They have done this umpteen number of times. They continue to do it. They did the Disha Ravi incident, you remember? They try to go after different people. So this whole, the country and like-minded people and people who are watching this TV show will understand that what is this wrong with this Bharatiya Janata Party? And the ministers are tweeting false information. Political opponents are not their enemy. We are Sudesh Verma ji or BJP is not my enemy. But they treat, and that is why we are going down this road to perdition, because they treat everybody as the enemy. If anybody speaks against them, the doctors are enemy. The Ramdev Baba is their friend, and every other doctor is enemy in this country. So this kind of nonsense. So please follow the law. The law says FIR was registered in Raipur. You investigate it, and if you have some sense of shame, Delhi police, and I hope the police commissioner or the Delhi police are ashamed.
Yeah.
That they don't invest. So you go to a police station to complain that there has been wrong done to me. The police investigates me. I mean, this is the theater of the absurd. I mean, to say the least. Here.
Okay, Mr. Sudesh Sharma, so a couple of points that you should respond to. Firstly, We were given to understand that the Delhi police was going around asking questions to Twitter and to Congress leaders on a complaint filed by Congress in the alleged toolkit case. But if the complaint itself was withdrawn on May 22nd, then what was Delhi police really doing? And secondly, even if you are looking at the allegations of a fake toolkit, don't you begin by asking those who actually shared it first and ask them where they got it?
You see, first of all, how the police is going to work, I should not be commenting on that, because contrary to how the Congress used to do, we don't run the police. Police have a right to investigate. A serious charge has been made by our party about this toolkit, and whatever we said actually was happening, isn't it? The Congress was caught red-handed, and then it had no face, so it denied that toolkit. So now all those people who popularized this toolkit or used it to defame the government and the country also should be accountable. You spoke about India variants and all that, and we don't believe that there is an India variant of COVID-19. So you used that. So that is maligning the country I'm talking about. So the police must investigate that and come to the conclusion. So in that case, if Twitter says that it is manipulated media, then Twitter must have done some investigation, isn't it? Otherwise, they won't do just because of complaint to the Congress, because Congress keeps on complaining. Twitter is not run by the Congress. So they must have done their due diligence. So the police must go and ask them that please join the investigation and tell us how you have made this manipulated media. You must have some information. You must pass on to us, because we
But the
also keep
complaint has
complaining.
been withdrawn, Mr. Sudesh Verma. So what
No,
are
I
they
know. I
investigating?
know. Now
There is no
coming to that,
FIR. The complaint was withdrawn.
in our legal system, withdrawing a complaint doesn't mean that you come out of that criminal liability. That action goes on, isn't it? And don't you see the politics of it? That something that happens in Delhi, the press conference happens in Delhi, the leaders are staying here, but a complaint gets lodged in Chhattisgarh. So if that becomes the norm, then all the BJP ruled states should lodge cases against Mr. Rahul Gandhi and ask him to appear there for investigation. Is that the new norm that the Congress wants? You are going to create a big chaos in this country, what you're doing. Just because you have a government there, you can get an FIR file and then ask our people to join you, and you don't see the politics of it. This is what politics is all about, they're doing. And I'm telling you, we have government in many states. We don't do that. We don't file FIR on the whims and fancies. Let the police do the investigation. Let police come to a conclusion. Why are you crying if you have not done anything else? Let the Twitter explain who was the first who started the whole thing. Let WhatsApp also explain. Why are people scared? We must reach the truth. We must know who has done what.
Tanvi,
Yes, Dr. Ajay Kumar.
so first question is, I want to say that BJP is always caught in their own lies. The Indian variant was filed by them in the affidavit also in the Supreme Court. That is what they've done even so. That's the affidavit which the Ministry of Health has filed 3 or 4 days back. You can Google and check it up, Sudeshi. The second issue is
No, Mr. Sashi Tharoor was the first who spoke about Indian variant. WHO has not verified it. Nobody calls it Indian variant. Dr. Ajay Kumar.
Don't interrupt. Sudeshi, never interrupted you, so please don't interrupt. The second issue is that first of all, you filed an affidavit, that's okay. So and they're very touchy about the Indian variant and all that. The question, they're not touchy about thousands of people dying, bodies in the Ganga, no. But we're Indian variant, we're very touchy. But people dying across this country in lakhs, no oxygen, no vaccine, no remdesivir, we are not at all ashamed. Indian variant, we are very ashamed. Second issue is, the law is very clear that if an FIR is filed in one place, even if you want, you combine the FIR if it is a similar offense. Third thing, Mr. Gandhi has been harassed by, and the Congress has been harassed. In Maharashtra only, you did a case few years back. Forget the tit for tat and all. The fact is that the shamelessness, the government has put up a false, the government which is right now in power in Delhi has put up a false paper. This is the ultimate insult to any, and that means they are also part of this whole sham. They are not ready to tell you, show us the original paper. Why don't you show the original? So, Mr. Nadda, Smriti Irani, and since Mr. Nadda and Smriti Irani and Raman Singh were involved, now the Delhi police was summoned.
But nobody is asking them. But Dr. Ajay Kumar, why should they? Nobody is asking them to show it. The question is being asked of the Congress party and Twitter. Why should they show it? Nobody is asking them, not even the police.
No, and to protect the king's men. The police, the problem is now they want to protect and the world is seeing it. They think that, every right-thinking Indian knows it, that they have created a fraudulent document. They went after girls, children
Can I answer that?
They continuously hunt people on false document. Prove it. Prove it. Why don't you get the original document?
Okay,
And
yes, Sudesh Sharma.
Can I reply?
Yes,
Can I
sir.
reply? Tanvi,
Yes.
you see, if you want to talk about the entire COVID protocol and how it happened, I'm ready to debate with you all the time. Just don't give tangential comment and go on. Let's focus on the core of the issue, which is the toolkit issue, isn't it? We found that toolkit that Congress was spreading, and there is an evidence of that. That is why we came out. A party like the BJP would not come out unless it's very sure about it. You said, no, it's not about it because you were caught red-handed. Then why you got an FIR filed in Chhattisgarh? Tell me that. And police has a right to investigate. Are you questioning that? Are you the judicial authority in this country that you will say, since I have withdrawn the complaint, nobody should investigate? Why? A criminal case has happened, So police must reach the truth. It doesn't act according to your whims and fancies. Dr. Ajay Kumar, you were an IPS officer, and how the law of this country functions. If the police is doing something wrong, please go to the court. It's not the forum to say that police is doing the wrong thing.
Okay. We'll have to make a hard stop here because I am out of time. Thank you so much to Dr. Ajay Kumar and Sudesh Sharma. Fine. Police has a prerogative. They don't even need a complaint. They can zoom out to look into an issue and figure out if there is action to be taken and an investigation to be done. Point of the matter is, if the complaint was filed, basis what the Congress asked and the Delhi police told us that's what they're investigating, why did they continue to say that when the complaint had been filed and withdrawn? And of course, what it shows is that with the Congress party not wanting Delhi police to investigate and only wanting the FIR in Chhattisgarh to continue, that investigation into this case is always going to be political depending on where the complaint is filed and who really has the control over the police department in that. Suffice to say, viewers, perhaps we will never find out the truth about that alleged toolkit, who created it, Congress or the BJP, did a third party create it and did somebody get it wrong, and where did that really happen? But I think there are many more important things that our political parties and our police forces should spend their time on. Thank you so much for joining us.